Welcome to the first part of the CELUMIUM 2021. Finally, it's the spring edition and it's a great pleasure to have you all here, and I hope you will enjoy today's online event. My name is Isabel and I'm CELUM's event manager, and I'm very proud to be your host today. Before we kick off with a very special CEO talk, let me first say thank you to our partners and sponsors who have been loyal with the CELUMIUM since March 2020, and without whom the conference could really not take place. There are a couple of organizational matters I will just shortly mention. The CELUMIUM will be recorded, and you will receive the recording in the next couple of days. If you have any questions during the presentations, please just enter them into the GoToWebinar chat window on the right side of your screen. And to save time, we will collect the questions and the speakers will answer them in writing individually after the event. So that's it now. Let the CELUMIUM begin with Better Together, Brand and Product Asset Management. Our first speakers today are CELUM's founder and CEO, Michael Kräftner, and his CEO talk guest, Roger Dudler. Roger is the founder and CEO of the Swiss brand management platform Frontify. And Frontify was founded in St. Gallen in 2013 and is now a globally acting company with more than 117 employees. Welcome, Roger. Welcome, Michael. It's a great pleasure to have you here today. Roger, before we talk about what Better Together actually means, could you briefly explain what Frontify stands for?
Yeah, sure. First of all, thank you very much for the invitation. I think it's always a pleasure to be, in the same room with our friends and colleagues that follow a similar vision. And yeah, let me talk a little bit more about Frontify. So I founded Frontify back in 2013. As you said, it's already quite a while ago. So we started off as more as a collaboration tool for designers, for developers, and so on. And we moved into the space of branding back in 2015 and started building brand portals, brand guidelines, everything around brand. And we expanded this product offering over the years, and always with the same goal. We want to strengthen brands. And we believe that every single person that you have in your company should be part of building that brand. So it's not something, that happens in a silo, just a few marketing folks or brand people that are concentrating on the topic, but it's more and more the people that are acting at every single touch point, people that are doing phone support, people that are writing emails, the salespeople that are sending out white papers. And all of them, they are actually your brand. They represent you and they create the perception of your brand, and you have to take care of everyone. So what we do with our platform is we enable brand managers and marketing teams to enable all their people to be more on brand. And we do that by having a brand portal, having all the parts that you need, like also a DEM, we have templates, we have collaboration tools. And we do that for many, many customers all around the world in all different industries. So we have currently more than 500 enterprise clients in that area. And our people are mainly located in St. Gallen in Switzerland. Some of them are remote, now even more. We have people in New York, around 17, and we're growing quite massively in the US right now, and we plan to continue this journey. And I think today it's all about why is this even a thing? Two kind of DAM providers working together. I think it makes a lot of sense. We talk about this a bit later, but I think what's important is we put brand into the center and we come from that angle. And we want to kind of have a product that is very self-service, so you can do a lot of stuff on your own, but we have limitations when it comes to very complex use cases, when it comes to product content and all that. So we'll go into that in a second. So I'm really positive and proud for this partnership that we now have with you at CELUM, and I think it's very beneficial for all of yours and also our clients. So that's a little bit about us. I think we'll hear a bit more in a second, but yeah, that's it from me.
Oh, great, thank you very much. Michael, please, could you also give us a short overview of CELUM's history? That would be great. You are still muted. Hang on a second, I will just
Of
unmute
course,
you.
that happens to me. So also a big welcome from my end to everyone attending, and of course, especially to, so to say, our guests and friends from Frontify now, specifically Roger. So a little bit about CELUM. So many of you obviously know our story. We're a little bit older. We started in 1999, actually, but since 2003, we are also, let's say, a software company that is at least in the broader field of what we do today. And so there's a lot of similarities with, of course, maybe the exception of a couple of years older than Frontify is in means of how we came up. Well, you know, there's also a lot of mountains around us as there are around Frontify, but of course geography isn't really the main thing here. So CELUM has been founded in Linz in Austria. This is where we also have our headquarters. As said before, so to say, for some years now, we are also around, meaning depending on how you count it, also between 600 and 800 active customers, and we found out actually some time ago that our customers are with our technology primarily offering, so to say, or structuring their product offers content. So and why do you need product content? It's essentially around product experiences at the end of the day. And why do you need product experiences? Because only the experience, specifically in a more and more digital world, only the experience actually helps you to sell your product effectively at the point of purchase. So what we are doing now, and this is in which direction we're leaning more and more, is we take care about perfect product experiences that are actually the guarantee that customers are able to fully engage with products, and by the end of the day, being able to make the actual endpoint buying decision. Because perfect product experiences actually need perfect product content at every step in the customer journey. So this is where we are leaning, and I think specifically for those of our customers that have been with us for some time, and a little shout out here to our customer number one, who's still with us. So we're proud about that. That's voestalpine Group. So the customers that are with us for some time now actually have noticed that we are moving by moving into, let's say, more this field of making product experiences a thing, and then again starting from create to manage to root. I think those three big things, that's what product experiences need to be able to be built. They don't create themselves from scratch. So it's create, manage, root. This is what we do. And our existing customers probably have seen us moving in this direction in the last couple of years, and we're actually increasing the speed here. We're also growing like crazy, even in last year's Corona turmoil, so to say, because obviously the more digital the world around us gets, the more digital touch points become a thing, and the more, so to say, digital product experiences are a thing, and the more customers need to actually rethink how they present and, so to say, get their products to market. So long story short, with us moving in the direction of product, it makes a lot of sense to make sure that, so to say, when it comes to brand, there's a strong offering as well. And I think this is why we are here today and why we are super happy to have the guys of Frontify joining us in this journey.
Oh, great. Thank you very much. So now we know a bit more about both of the companies. And now, of course, we want to know all about why you decided to go for a partnership between CELUM and Frontify.
Yeah, I think, honestly, when I look back many years, I've always looked up to CELUM as as one of the pioneers of the space, and we were nowhere back in the days, and I think this has always been an inspiration also, as a leader in the space. And now it's kind of, we see that there's so much we can do in the brand space, like there's so many things to ensure brand consistency over all different touch points and all channels and all areas. And I think one of the areas that we really saw kind of a gap is everything that goes towards product information. And I think we cover certain elements of it, and we can cover certain use cases, but just not all of them. And I think we lack certain functionality that CELUM provides, and thus much longer than we do them and in a much broader way. And I think this really extends the offering that we have in that direction. So there is cases where customers really want to have a more deeply integrated experience towards their product information system or their backend workflows, where there is a bit more manual work required also to set that up and so on. And we are probably not alone the best solution for this. And I think here we really want to partner up with CELUM, because you have a lot of experience in that space, and we can also add something to your offering in terms of brand when it comes to the brand portal, the brand guidelines, a more self-service aspect of it. And I think this in combination is something that no one else in the market provides to that degree. And so I'm really looking forward to see what our common customers and our customers do with this partnership. And I think there is a lot more that we can explore in the future, and I'm really looking forward to what we all do with it. So that's my take on why we very happy to do this partnership.
Yeah, and if I may pick it up from here, from our perspective. So of course, two things. First of all, I'm very thankful, Roger, that you didn't call us a legend, because I think Keith Richards said once you're being called a legend, you're really old. So
yeah.
But yeah.
No, but remember those times back in the days, where, and I mean, it's not easy to really evolve over time as you did. And I think there's many that, stayed in that age, but I think you really managed to develop yourself into the future. And that's, I think, not something that every company manages to.
Yeah, I think I'm holding it with Karl Lagerfeld there. The most important thing in life is to reinvent yourself. And actually, CELUM did this a couple of times. And now looking at our partnership, or why we think this is a great idea, is, I pointed out before, and I think Roger said it's likewise in the other direction, our list of ideas with what we're gonna do around product experiences and around the collaborative part that is part of that. For example, we just, like, I don't know, 2 years ago started with our first prototypes of workrooms. Now this is a very mature product. It's a whole product in itself, and so this is a long list of ideas. And frankly, there's a second approach that we want to see pushed harder in the future. It's actually, we want to do what Salesforce.com did, so to say, to the CRM field. We want to do to the whole, let's call it, product experience, product content field, meaning less project, so to say, for certain standardized things, but quicker projects that ensure quicker time to market. So there have been, for example, excellent examples of brand portals, for example, built by our partners. And we think that with the partnership with Frontify, we can give them a much, so to say, higher elevation to start from, with, so to say, catering to our customers. And we have been very much impressed with Frontify's feature set. So again, I think there's a lot of arguments for our collaboration. I don't want to go to, like, this list would be also really long, but frankly, I think it's a perfect match, and it will bring a lot of profit to our joint and individual customers becoming, so to say, joint customers. And I'm very much looking forward, plowing through the market together.
Great to hear that. As we are now talking about the future and how this partnership will work, could you tell us a little bit more where you see the importance of content and brand for companies?
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
the reason for the partnership.
there is a lot of things that are in the making, but there is also a lot of ideas for the future. And I think what's important is the ultimate goal must be that we can make product content more brand consistent. So how do we do that? We bring those platforms closer together. So we try to make a deep integration between the two, so that customers that are using CELUM can use all of their assets within the brand portal and the other way around. And we can also ensure that you don't need to do anything about it. It's just happening like magic. And I think for the future, it's really important that we also go a step further. When you look at product information, it's about not only the images that are used for products and so on, but also the text, the descriptions, how you position products and so on, where I believe that the brand aspect becomes more and more important. And we can help by pushing those informations around guidance and around personas, around target groups, around competition, and so on. This information we can push into CELUM system to be available for creating that content. So our goal is in the end to have kind of a creation experience of product information that ensures brand consistency while not limiting your freedom. And I think there is a lot of opportunity to have just a delightful experience to do that, and while always being sure that you are on brand. And I think there we're just getting started, but I think the start will be a very close, deep integration between the two, so that you don't have to care about manually setting up a lot of stuff, but that you kind of bidirectionally see the benefits of both worlds. And I think that's going to be the starting point, and then we'll explore further options to optimize the product experience process regarding brand.
So what, for example, what I think what Roger pointed out already, and I want to pick up there is, so product content that's on brand is extremely important, so to say, to achieve brand consistency. And on our side, so to say, of the cake, if I take a look at how much, so to say, product presentation is actually an integral part of branding, that's, so to say, where I think also the future lies, because we're entering a time of marketplaces where like the Amazons.coms of the world like consume so much of the retail channel by actually selling other stores through them, and essentially everything looks the same through Amazon. So I think it's very important that brands that own products, so to say, are aware that how they present the product, regardless what the storefront is. So yes, they are own online channels, their own multi-channel channels, but also, so to say, when they sell through marketplaces like Amazon, that's, so to say, how they present their products there is actually the only way, and it gets narrower, so to say. You lose control over, so to say, the overall branding part when you're selling through a marketplace like Amazon. I think the branded part of the product content becomes even more important. And of course, it's the overall quality of product content per se that actually is the only way to actually set you aside in such a scenario. And then, of course, talking back to the storefronts that our customers directly control, this is a little bit easier. We're talking about branded zones in physical stores and stuff like that. We're talking about a digital experience there as well. This is, so to say, where I think also a partnership and what we do together actually makes a lot of sense, because then, so to say, you not only experience the product, you want to experience the brand as well. Especially in Austria, one example is like these Apple store elements in like MediaMarkt, Saturn shops, so to say. This is where a brand is consuming, so to say, a part of of retail space, and not only showing products, but also giving you a brand expression, so to say, or a brand experience there. So this is a prototypical overlap of those two worlds. But then again, from our perspective, the most important aspect, of course, is with hundreds and hundreds of customers. Actually, it's for us every year we sit down and say, okay, let's cluster our customers. Like, where are they? What has happened in the last years or so? And actually, we found out that most of our customers, not all of them, but most of our customers share that they are actually doing one of three types of products, if you want to say so. So we are looking at complex products. That could be a piece of complex jewelry, but could also be a highly complex machine. Then it's, so to say, products that I would say are highly configurable. So that's, again, complex machinery that you can configure down to like lot size 1, and it could be even a sneaker that you can customize down to piece 1. And the third is hybrid digital products that evolve over, so to say, their life cycle. You can upgrade your lawnmower with a new software, actually, and that would allow you to, mow steeper angles, stuff like that. And these three kinds of products are where we feel most at home, and will be focusing even more in the future. And this, again, is another area where we think that working together actually does a lot.
That makes absolute total sense. I understand now why a partnership makes sense. What is in there for the customer? Why should they use both products together for their own profit or success?
I think there's a number of reasons, but I think one, for our customers, it's definitely a reason to, if you manage, it's not our customer base in here, but for our customers, it's really about, if they want to do stuff in the product area, we are not yet covering that aspect. So we can, with CELUM, add this element, so they can actually extend their workflow into that direction more than they can today. And so with that, I think we really add an element there that is really interesting for all of our clients. And I think sometimes people underestimate the complexity of this aspect, and I think we are, and also we don't want at the moment to cover that area. And I think there we really add a great partner that has a lot of experience in that area. And on the other hand, I think for all CELUM customers, it's interesting to cover the brand aspect more, to add a brand portal that is more self-service, to add elements that maybe open up the environment more to all the people in the organization, and not just the ones in the product area or the ones that are using the assets, but actually really going into the area of tone of voice and how do you speak, behavioral branding, employer branding, and so on. I think there we can really add something to the table. And I think it's super easy for both worlds to join, to add that element. And you can do it today. And I think that's the cool thing that is available for CELUM's customers and Frontify's customers right now, actually.
Yeah, and frankly, I see it very similar. So the idea is then, at the end of the day, that CELUM existing customers would get, so to say, advanced branding capabilities by more or less click of a button. That's the common goal that we are striving for. So if a customer wants to go, either because, as Roger said, they want to expand their footprint. So long story short, what CELUM still sees itself is that we are kind of the central hub for core content pieces, so to say. Of course, offering a lot of front-endy capabilities towards product content. So this is where we, so to say, see us. And then, of course, with the partnership with Frontify, we can completely cover, and Roger just snipped, so to say, a couple of the big issues, like, hey, employer branding. I think this in itself is a huge area, so to say. So it makes, frankly, no sense for a company our size. And together we are roughly 300 plus people, CELUM and Frontify together. So I think it is a necessity, so to say, to specialize a little bit here. And there are actually there is no player out there that has the guts, so to say they do everything and then can actually prove it. So we think we have a track record, a proven track record, both parties, that together, obviously, we can prove that we did already all of that stuff individually, and now, of course, in the future, together. So what's in it for our customers there? A point-and-click integration, adding capabilities towards more brand enablement toward the broader organization by more or less the click of a button. And also, I think as a heads up, because I can feel some partners and customers going all like, oh yeah, we want to have that. So we are currently in the process of building, actually together with a partner, building the integration. So it will take a little bit of time in the next couple of weeks, I would rather say, actually. There is and I'm doing now a spoiler heads up for the CELUMIUM in it's summer CELUMIUM, because it's still in summer, early September. There will be a masterclass at CELUMIUM on September 3rd that actually will cover the actual then present integration. So our idea, obviously, with pushing this info out to our both communities, is to actually gather interest and get people on this bandwagon before we actually can supply them with the integration on product level. So again, this is in a couple of weeks around. So reach out if you're interested. It's going to be really an amazing combination, and
it's a good
more
point.
than the sum of the individual parts.
It's a good point that you add. I think it's always important that we have this huge chance that we have both together like a lot of customers, and I think we want to hear that voice. We want to hear what you need, and I think that's now the moment also, not only regarding how you would like to see that integration, but how you see that world coming together, how you see that product content world coming together with brand, and share it with us. Share it with Michael, share it with me, share it with whoever you talk to, your CSMs. I think it's really important for us to understand what you would like to see, so that we can optimize towards that direction early on. And I think, yeah, that's just also something that I found really, really important.
Great. I'm just going to continue here with the give us your input, tell us what you need, what you are interested in, because besides obviously the question bar here in GoToWebinar, please do not hesitate to send us anything that pops up into your mind after the event. You just send us a quick email to hello@celum.com, and we will forward it to Roger and Michael, and they will get back to you with their answers and ideas. So this is the perfect ending for this CEO talk with Roger and Michael.
Hey, we're super on time. We're super on time. Two
Yes,
CEOs being perfectly on time. That's wow.
Yeah, we've been trained to be on time. No. But really, again, thank you for having me. I think it's great to be part of this event, and I wish you all like a great event. I know that this is a lot of effort to set up an event like this, even though it sounds like something small, but I know that there is a lot of people involved, setting these things up. And so thanks for inviting me and giving us the chance also to show our side of kind of that partnership. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Roger, for being here. Yeah. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. And now we will just go from here to a more marketing-y point of view on brand and product assets. We have our damn good speaker combo, Sebastian Böttger, head of not only one, but actually 2 competence centers at Adesso, and Roman Leb, Chief Marketing Officer at CELUM. and they will show us how to get more out of your content by combining CMS, marketing, automation, and DAM. Hello, Sebastian. Hello, Roman. Nice having you here today.
Hello, Isabel.
Hi.
Welcome. Hi.
Hi, Roman. Sebastian, you will go first. Am I right? So let me just make you the moderator.
Yes, let's see. Okay, I think it's working now. Okay, yeah, thank you, Isabel, for that introduction. Today, I want to tell our audience something about a damn good combo. So content management, CELUM, and marketing automation. And that's a good combo for marketing managers. So just a quick word about the agenda. So first of all, I will tell everyone who's Adesso in some words. Then I will tell you something about the challenges of marketing and especially of marketing managers, and then how this leads to the conclusion that time is money. So let's start with Adesso. Adesso is focusing on supporting our customers at core business processes, and we, especially at the line of business digital experience, are dedicated to optimizing the customer's user experience in order to increase brand value and thus generate added value for our customers. And all this actually with very deep technical knowledge. So we are working human-centric, technology-driven, and integrative. So what does it mean? We don't develop digital strategies, we develop strategies for humans in the digital world. We drive every discipline necessary in the context of modern economy. So analytics, strategy, creation, communication, and IT systems, and new business models. And we act fast and situational to the context. So because we can deliver interdisciplinary support from one single source. Adesso actually grows twice as fast as the market. So, for example, during the pandemic 2020, we hired around nearly 1,000 new employees. And in total, we are around 5,000 employees in the Adesso group. And yeah, we got just voted from our employees to the best place to work in 2020 and have around 40 locations in Europe. So in short, we are working for nearly every industry from automotive to utilities, offering end-to-end services, and yeah, this in nearly every technology from IoT to blockchain and app development and Java. Yeah, now let's head up to the challenges of a marketing manager. The typical challenges for a marketing manager, first of all, are digital presence and increasing of awareness. So he needs to manage a website, social media, let's just say a bunch of websites and portals. For this, he needs to be efficient in the management of his digital content. So he needs to establish and maintain customer relationships. His set of tools for this are campaigns, 360-degree views of a customer or the customer history. So for this, first of all, he needs to generate leads with efficient and easy campaign management. So we said he needs to maintain portals and website. What are the typical challenges around these? He needs to ask himself, how do we bring our content to the forefront at all touch points? So there's the corporate identity website, for example, there's a shop system, there's Facebook, Twitter, and so on. And not every content we use should be accessible for everyone. So how can we achieve rights-based access to essential digital content, for example, products or prices? One of our customers is Horsch. Horsch is a German manufacturer of special agricultural machinery. As you know, farmers getting more and more digital. So Horsch had a strong need for a modern digital asset management system. Important assets of the company are now in one place and can be found optimally through enriched metadata. The management has better overview of who has access to which data, User administration can largely be controlled via the cross-company Active Directory. The client has full control over who is authorized to access which content. And obviously, Horsch is distributing the content not only in the CMS. So now when we know what are the typical challenges around websites, what are the typical challenges around lead generation and sales? The marketing manager needs to solve the challenge how he can get to know better his customers and build and maintain strong customer relationships. So on the right side, we see a picture of a typical sales funnel. Tofu means top of the funnel, Mofu middle of the funnel, Bofu bottom of the funnel. And especially at the top of the funnel, normally it's very widely filled with leads. Well, at least this should be the case. And marketing managers don't have the time to care about every single lead manually. So they need to know how can they run an efficient campaign. They need automated reports, analytics, or just want to monitor their strategy results. And a good choice for this is a marketing automation solution. So for example, our customer Flint Group is a supplier company to the printing industry. The vision was to drive more customer-centric campaigns with better traceability through professional marketing automation with seamless processes between marketing and sales. They wanted to have the possibility of smooth execution of email campaigns and landing pages with analytics and capabilities for monitoring. Furthermore, they needed a seamless transfer of leads and campaign-related sales information to the sales department. Flint Group has taken the customer-centric work of marketing and sales to a new level by introducing a marketing automation solution. In this case, this was SAP. Campaigns can now be executed, tracked, and evaluated with the desired high quality. Thanks to automated processes and high-quality source data, the basis for perfectly coordinated customer approaches and seamless marketing sales processes was created. They increased the quality in digital marketing through optimized campaign management with email automation, landing pages, and analytics of campaigns. So I already told time is money, and marketing managers don't have time for long-lasting IT projects. They need a solution which fits their gaps, supporting them in their three key challenges. And these three key challenges are brand consistency and management. And for this, they need to cut their silos, have one single source of truth, and have the possibilities of rights and roles management. They need to have a quick time to market with easy search, find, and share for marketers, with efficient possibilities of creation content, and with the possibility of reuse of content in different channels. And they need this quick. For example, our two customers I told you about, Horsch and Flint Group, these projects had a time to market from kickoff to going live from 2 months at Flint Group and 3 months at Horsch. So these are not very long-lasting projects and as well not that much expensive. And that leads to a very quick return of investment. So our customer states that the quick and successful introduction of the solution creates an optimal basis for efficient and flexible marketing. So now where I have told so much about the challenges of marketing, Roman, what can CELUM do for achieving these goals?
All right. Thank you, Sebastian. I hope you can see my screen now. Be sharing. So thank you, Sebastian. Also a warm welcome from my side. And now you already gave us a very good overview of, well, the challenges that I think a lot of us can relate to, as well as some practical examples on how to overcome them. And I would now, in this second part of the presentation, like to take a step back and focus on the common denominator that is touching on all the things that you just mentioned, or that is like an underlying factor in all of these things. And given the fact that we also call this a damn good combo, I will now branch over into how CELUM can help here. And in the end, it doesn't really matter whether it's a CMS, a marketing automation platform, with all the fancy automation and campaign capabilities, or if it's an e-commerce tool. What you pretty much constantly need is new and highly relevant, high resolution, high quality content pieces, or variants of existing content pieces for that matter. And that is exactly where CELUM comes into play with our CELUM Cloud platform. And for us here at CELUM, and I mean, Michael and Roger touched a little bit on this also in the previous session, the central aspiration, if you will, is to keep or to enable our customers to make content work, make it work for their products. Because nobody produces content without a particular reason. You obviously want to achieve something with the content that you produce. And there's plenty of different objectives that you might have why you exactly need this content piece, but in essence, it is always attached to some desired outcome that you have. And what we here at CELUM believe, and what we here at CELUM specialize in, is the product content part, or the product related content. So all the images, the videos, the docs that you use to showcase and to promote your products. And what comes up again and again in a variety, what comes up again and again in a variety of studies, and this one here is from an e-commerce survey that I recently read on, I think it was a HubSpot blog. I'm not sure if they conducted this survey themselves or compiled some other data sources, but in essence, this part comes up in a lot of studies, almost always on top, namely the visual appearance of your products, or the optimization of their visual appearance. And yes, there is a variety of different factors that come into play if whether someone buys or not, but this one usually stands out, and especially in a negative way, if you will. So when the visuals are blurry, when there's low resolution, when there is not enough images, meaning only one piece or one picture, or when the dimensions are not adequate. So yeah, you then literally have a hard time visualizing it. And there are also other facts, obviously, that touch on the same thing and that stress the importance of visual content. Like I'm pretty sure that all of you have heard most of them at some point. Like, I don't know, we remember 10% of what we hear, 20% of what we read, but 80% of what we see. Or the human mind processes images a lot faster than text. And there's actually a bit of a disagreement on the actual factor, but how much faster. But in essence, it's a decent multiple. And well, I guess that's also why we can all agree on the truism of a picture is worth 1,000 words. And for us here at CELUM, the content that you use to promote your products is already part of your overall product experience, as Michael Kräftner also mentioned. Even if your customers or your users haven't touched or tried your products at this point, and just the way you present your products on the silver platter, if you will, you cannot detach that from the customer's perception about you, your brand or your product, whether that is in the awareness stage or a little bit more down the funnel and closer to conversion. Now in the virtual world, and we see here now an example of Scott Sports, and we've all seen this too in the past year to a very large extent, there is a limitation on the depth of pre-purchase experience. If you shop retail, and the Scott Sports example is a good one here, not only because they use here very good and very high quality content to promote their products, but let's just stick with the I want to purchase a bike example. And in retail, there is more possibility to experience a product. You can maybe touch it, feel the materials, the whole haptics and so on, and you can maybe try it out. In this case, hop on that bike and ride it for a while, or ride it around the block. But in the digital space and in e-commerce specifically, there is this experiential gap, if you will. You are naturally limited here in terms of sensory information that is available to you. And that is why we say this product experience is so important in digital, and it is of utmost importance to get the visuals right in the digital space. Now, how can CELUM help here? And to circle back a little bit on what Sebastian mentioned before. So our platform, the CELUM Cloud, can cover the entire content lifecycle end to end. So from creation and collaboration, which also includes the workrooms, it includes also the revision of existing content, review and approval workflows, to management in a central system with AI tagging and all the sophisticated metadata handling that goes along with it, to what you see on the right hand side, to routing, which in our case really focuses on making the content available in other systems. So when Sebastian was talking about marketing automation before, or let's say omni-channel CX solutions, and let's just stick with the example SAP Marketing Cloud for now, this would be a perfect example of the type of systems that we route content to and make it available for further usage. And obviously then for all sorts of channels or portals that you have. And here on the left-hand side, you see some very prominent examples of the tools that we can integrate with. So CELUM can really act as the central hub that not only manages the content centrally, but also brings it into the applications that you use to put content in front of your audience. And some key takeaways on the right-hand side about the importance. We talked about the importance of this visual product, or the optimization of visual product appearance, and the content that you use for creating these outstanding product experiences, like the Scott Sports example that we saw. Then there's the Scott Sports example. I wanted to mention especially the content that they've used that is not only high resolution, but also the ability to zoom in to, I think it was a road bike shoe, that you could really see this product from all angles, 360 degree, and really get a good idea of how this looks like. Then we talked about this create, manage, route. So for us, this is super important, the end-to-end coverage, but also the added value, especially of the root part, of having an integrated solution that integrates, let's say, for instance, in SAP Marketing Cloud, and then enables an interplay of various systems to which CELUM can provide content to, and where the content can then be used for a variety of campaigns or marketing activities that you do. And this is actually then where the usage of the content is consumed. And this is really where things get interesting, because what good is a central storage for your content if you don't use it and put it out there in front of your prospects and customers? And I want to end this with the claim or slogan of Adesso, which really boils down to the essence of also what Sebastian mentioned, what makes kind of the successful ones successful, namely the great business part, great people, and great technology. When that things converge, then it's successful. Thank you.
Thank you, Roman, and also thank you, Sebastian, for your presentation and for showing us how implementing this damn good combo can set you apart from the masses in this digital day and age. Let me just remind you that Sebastian and Roman will answer your questions. Hi. Will answer your questions individually in writing after the event in a couple of days. So the next part is our CELUM update. Roman has shown us how CELUM can help you to create, manage, and route your content, and why CELUM is therefore the backbone for delivering the perfect product experience. In the next session, we will pick up right from there. Our CELUM experts, Genia Stoeva, Alessandro Kurzidim, and Reinhard Eisel will show you the latest CELUM features and updates and what the next milestones for the futures are. Hello, Reinhard. Let me just hand over the moderator role to you so you can lead our guests directly into the CELUM product world.
Thank you, Isabel, for that intro, and hello also from our side, from our product management team. So let me share my screen. Right, so this last track of today's CELUMIUM Spring Edition, we want to update you on what we've been doing in product recently and in upcoming releases, and give you a short outlook what to expect in terms of features and functionality until sort of the end of 2021. And so we'll have a short recap of our mission and who we are building our solution for, which has also been done a bit already by Roman, which I think was also a valuable insight. And we'll give you a short tour around the CELUM Cloud using a nice little showcase, and give you the outlook in conclusion. And as always, and also Isabel already mentioned, we'll be answering questions a few days after the event offline. So, and we are, as already briefly shown, myself, Reinhard Eisel, Chief Product Officer, and Genia and Alessandro, who are members of our product management team in their roles for content and collaboration. Right, so CELUM, and as we've seen already in also Sebastian's slides, CELUM is for those select brands whose products make them stand out. I think Horsch is really also always a good example of companies and brands that have really products that are appealing, and where content that displays these products in an attractive way for the end user at the touch points where it makes sense, storefronts, websites, and so on. These are also a very good example. And so we are really also, that's really our mission, that we are for those brands whose products make them stand out. And again, our claim with CELUM marketing teams: create, manage, and route perfect content for perfect product experiences. Who are we building a solution for? So as you know, so CELUM Cloud is both for distributed marketing teams that need to collaborate, work collaboratively online, organize teamwork, and of course, while we do hope that we will be out of our special situation very soon. Still, the workplace, I think, has changed, and remote working will stay with us. And for this, our collaboration suite is certainly a solution, and that is what we can do for you there. Creative teams across organizations are not only collaboratively working in teams generally, but also with a creative focus with our integrations into Adobe Creative Suite, but also Microsoft Office, and of course always not forgetting our Drive capability that basically allows working with files natively on your native local machine. Product people of all kinds, obviously, because yes, this is what our customers do with our solution, manage these perfect pieces of content and route it to where they have the most impact. And of course, generally people pushing digitalization, not only in marketing, but of course with a marketing focus, looking also at the history and who and what our customers are really doing with our solutions. So this is kind of in a nutshell who we are building our solution for, and when would we say, do you really need our solution? Do you need CELUM Cloud? So in our view, at least, whenever you're dealing with premium product content that you want to make sure gets routed to those touch points where it has the most impact. Generally, also, if you're dealing, if you're working in product and marketing content in large organizations, and whenever you have to deal with large volumes of product and marketing content. So I think this kind of sums up quite neatly when you do need the CELUM Cloud. And when I say CELUM Cloud, obviously, I do mean our roster of capabilities. Of course, digital asset management as the central content hub for it says here 1,000, but actually millions of product images, videos, and documents, complemented by the RHL collaboration solution workrooms that brings tasks, files, and teams together in to allow managing the workload, and also enabling workflow and automation. So with our Kanban board and the flow you can configure, and with a robots feature that allows for building custom workflows and automating recurring tasks. Online proofing, so again, using our digital tools to our document review and approval processes, markup, comment, reply, and documented approval of any file type, video, document, images, file syncing and sharing. I already mentioned our Drive solution to store, access, and share files, and always keeping compliance with European GDPR requirements. And last but not least, our ecosystem around the solution. So in our marketplace that allows customers to pick off-the-shelf integration and extensions to any or many third-party applications that are relevant in an enterprise environment. And also, if you've been following our website relaunch, we now offer also the ability to start really small, right? So we invite users to start with a free plan to grow into the CELUM world, starting with 10 users, 5 workrooms, and 5 GB of storage for free, with, of course, the intention and option to grow into this fully fledged enterprise suite that adds all those capabilities that we saw earlier with content management, permissions, routing, and so on and so forth. So that's really the message. Also, if you're not yet tried workrooms, feel free to do so today. Right, and with this, we're going to do a little demo of where we are currently with our suite. Give you a short tour through the applications and the latest features, and to basically sum it up a bit, two talking points really. So we use AI to assist with asset classification, tagging, and helping with keeping your repository free of clutter, so deduplication. You're going to see this woven into the story that we're about to tell in a second. And of course, our robots that help automate workflows and help organizing teamwork. And with this, I'm going to hand over to Shenya, who will start with the demo.
Thank you, Reinhard, and welcome from my side. Let me share my screen. I hope you can see it. So today, my colleagues and I will demonstrate how we collaborate using the CELUM products to prepare the perfect content for a marketing campaign called 7 Secret Summits. I received a notification from my colleague that there is a task waiting for me in workrooms, and I have already opened the workrooms and can see my task available here. We'll just quickly click on it, and I can see that Alessandro is asking me to prepare the initial selection from the campaign photo shooting images, and he has also provided some initial requirements about what he needs. To prepare my selection, I will go to the Content Hub, and there I can already see the images from the campaign, which are uploaded in the campaign collection. I know that we got one late, and I would like to have it in my selection here. Therefore, I will quickly drag and drop it. And I will use the object detection and the text extraction on this one. But first, let's take a look how the asset looks like. We have this AI section in the metadata, which is currently empty. And I will trigger the process manually right now to speed up the extraction. Otherwise, it is triggered automatically when your images are being uploaded to the collection. And just to take a look at another one, which is already uploaded, I can see that the text extracted, there is a text extracted, and when I take a look at the girl's jersey, there's actually the Scott logo available in it. What else is extracted is the bicycle as an object and also the person, and we have all the backgrounds objects extracted. All this information is used for a better asset classification, and it is also searchable, and it helps me find the right content for my needs. Let's move back and take a look at the asset which I just uploaded. All the information is already available for it, and I can start preparing my selection for Alessandro. He was asking me to select a banner, and I think this one here looks quite good, but I want to really select the perfect one for our needs. I will take a look at this, and we'll open the similar assets which are already available in the system and browse through them. There is another option which looks better to me, and I will add this to my collection together with my original selection. I have already prepared the pool and the final collections where our work will land eventually. I will also add this one here. So Alessandro has a better choice later. And we'll now move to the advanced search, where the AI have already produced the results, and I can use the text extraction to search for some images with the Scott logo on it. I think they will be good for our selection. There are some available. I will choose the girl and will also add to my selection for the colleagues. Then I will use the other capability of our AI, which already helped classify these images. And Alessandro was mentioning that he would need some images with people on them. I don't see many with people, but I will try to, with too many people, but I will try to search with at least 2 on them. Let's see what the proposals are. I will choose this one and maybe another one also, for example, this one and this one. And we'll add them to the full collection. And with that, my preparation of the initial selection is done. I will take a look at the images, and if I need to adjust any of them, I can use another feature which is now available in Content Hub. And it is the image editor. I will just open the image editor from here, and I can here I can select from a set of predefined options for the crop box size. I can also enter custom dimensions for the resolution and the ratio, and I can also select the resolution, which is in millimeters. I can rotate the image left and right or flip it. And when I'm done, I can use the option to export it to one of the available to me download formats. Taking a final look, I think I will remove this one from my selection, and with that, I'm done. I will move back to workrooms, and we will leave a message for Alessandro. I will unassign myself and will assign Alessandro so he can take over from here and approve or decline my selection. I will now hand over to Alessandro.
Thanks, Shania. All right, then let's continue our journey. What you have seen already right now is that Shania prepared already the assets in the pool collection. She gave me the task back with the briefing. So let's quickly have a look on it. Okay, right now everything is there. I know already where I can follow track. So what I'm doing right now is I want to show you first how I can import from Content Hub directly to Workrooms. So I have prepared there a subfolder, and I see here with the context sensitive buttons that I can import assets. I'm doing this right now. Let's trigger this. I go to the campaign. I'm opening the subfolders And right now I'm going pool. And in this pool collection, I see all of the assets which Genia has already predefined for me. So let's take all of them and let's import them. This takes some seconds because right now what is happening, all of those assets are copied over from Content Hub, from its storage to the storage of workrooms. Right now, all of those assets are here and I can work totally independently on those assets without any changes to Content Hub. So how it continues right now is I'm taking those 5 assets, and what I want to do right now is I want to create a task out of each and every file. So I'm triggering this right now. I'm selecting the task list. Let's take right now new. And what you can do right now is please focus here on the bottom left corner, because there the snack bar will immediately show up. So we see right now that the robot gets applied and the last task opens. And what does it did right now? The robot kicked in, and we see this here right now. All of those files are right now attached to a task. And with this robot, we see these new robots already here. The due date is set to 7 days in the future. So today, when we are looking in our calendar, we see that it's the 12th of May. So plus 7 days is the May 19. And right now, we continue with our process. I'm taking all of those files, and we see already that Reinhard is assigned as task list owner. And what I want to get from him is an approval, because I want to know if we can continue working with those files. So let's take all of them and let's push it to the second task list. Again, see that the robots are kicking in. So we see right now that Reinhard gets assigned to all of those 5 files, plus the due date is changed to May 21st. Because why does this happen? Let's have a look on it. What is defined? We see as the first thing, assigned to people. On Java, I see when a task is moved to task list ready for approval, then assign it. And here we see dispatch icon, which means this is the task list owner. Right now, Reinhard is the only task list owner, so he gets assigned automatically in the tasks. This happens for all of those tasks. If there would be any other task list owner, also that person would be added. If it changes all the time, it always takes the latest change. The second thing is we are taking also the due date of the task list, because this is one of the crucial capabilities that people can define a due date for a task list, because they want to know until when things need to be done. So this is also something every task should be done until then. And this is something people don't have to do these things twice. It's a repeated job, and that's why those new robots are so beneficial. Something what you already know from the past is the task list owner. So let's stay there. We also made an update on the task list ownership, because there were a lot of feedback that people really like this capability, but it was in some cases too restricted. So right now what we tried is to update it to 3 different ways. The first thing is you simply just can add the task list owner, like it is here for Reinhard. The second thing is you can say that only Reinhard would be allowed to move tasks, and with the hard restriction like we had it back then, is nobody can move or edit the task except the task list owners. So what I said right now is here is right now that everyone can edit it, but only Reinhard, because this is really important for our process, can move it. So I can also quickly demonstrate this. We see right now, okay, you don't have the permission to move the task. And last but not least, we have the no task creation, which means we are ensuring that no one can create a task in this task list, which is also important because everything should follow the defined process. This is something what I will also show you in a second. So let's see what happens in the meantime. If Reinhard already did it, okay, perfect. So I got 3 approvals. I got 1 rejected. So Reinhard also assigned task back to me. Let's see. Okay, this is too much empty space. Don't like it. Okay, I'm sorry, Reinhard. I will try to give you something else, which you probably more like. We also see here, okay, that was the thing which Reinhard doesn't like. So he took the capability of setting markers. Let's try to upload something else. I have already prepared some bikers there. So let's have a look. Okay, the first shot looks already pretty nice. Let's see if there's anything else what we could use, but I would say that is good enough. Let's give it a try. So I'm waiting that just a new version is added to this file, and then Reinhard can have a look on it. So let's go back there, and I will assign this task back to Reinhard. I mean, let's have quickly look. Okay, that looks better. Let's see what he will say. So I remove myself and assign this task back to Reinhard. In the meantime, where Reinhard is right now checking that everything works, I want to show you additional robots. So what is happening here in this task list? We see also here our robot icon. And what is happening? We have right now that no due date is set. We are removing the due date. This is one of the things people told us often, that I have done my job. Please remove the due date. We don't need to see it anymore. So right now, when a task is moved from this task list to this task list, the robot kicks in and it removes the due date. The same goes for the assignment. Everyone knows that things are done, but people forget to unassign themselves. And this is something for the past, because right now robots are kicking in and they are unassigning all people from the task. And this is what happened here, because maybe Reinhard also forgot to remove himself. So right now the robot does the job for him. And like we already had in the second task list, we say that no task creation is allowed. So right now, most of you will ask, how can I define it? Because I don't see how I can do this here right now. Let's briefly have a look in our workroom designer. For those who haven't seen the latest update of the workroom designer, but this is something what we also enabled in one of the previous releases. We tried to declutter everything, and we want simply just to increase the user experience. So we implemented 3 tabs, and everything what needs to be done for the workroom, for the process, how it is designed, it can be done here in the workroom designer. So let's go to the task board and its robots. And here we see the same chip like we saw already on the task list. And what does it happen, or what does happen here? I easily can click on the robot. I can define from the set of robots which robot I would like to have. And I can also say, okay, that when a task is created or moved, I have both options. This is always the trigger. Then the result should be, please assign it to Reinhard, to Shenya, or to myself. So that is really super straightforward, super easy for all of our people. And it's also possible to edit all of those. So like we have seen in the first one, here is defined when a task is created, then set its time period to 7 days. I can easily update this. I can also say any other time, whatever fits to my process. All right, then let's go back to the board and let's see if Reinhard already updated it. Perfect. So he liked the approach. So the second option was better. And what is happening here right now is that all of those files are right now also exported to Content Hub. So I see that this was already done. In the future, this will be also something which will be done with the robot. So let's give it a try right now, because there's a direct link to Content Hub. And I see that this file is right now also exported to Content Hub, and right now the other colleagues can continue working with it. So that's also from my side. Reinhard, giving back to you.
Thank you very much, Alessandro and Xenia. So that was a short tour through our current capabilities with that I think also showed quite nicely how seamlessly integrated workrooms and Content Hub have become. What we want to conclude with now is giving you a sneak peek into what we will be working on until roughly end of 2021. Obviously, always with the caveat that this is reflecting our current plans, and things might change, but for those things that we are going to show you now, we have a pretty good idea already. So, of course, something that many of you know as core capability, but will be added in Nova in the next release, the duplicate check on upload, so that again, of course, this helps you with keeping your repo clean and free of duplicates that would confuse users and obviously also take up storage space that is unwarranted. And of course, as you've already seen now in the demo, all these capabilities that make working with content smarter and easier. Again, similarity search, obviously, that help you identify visually similar material for you to even better be able to find those perfect pieces of content that really have the most impact for your products. We also are going to be adding this text extracting capabilities that you've seen. That's also a very useful tool of automatically improving metadata quality in your repository by extracting all visible text elements. And as you've seen, it's also very capable of extracting also very warped text even on this Scott jersey there. So that works really well. And then there's the object detection that will also help with classifying assets automatically and easily by helping you identify, for example, images where persons are depicted and even how many persons, obviously, which is also handy when you think about, checking whether you have to check for model releases and so on and so forth. So that also adds with all those content management tasks that going on around a photo shoot like that. And I think also a very relevant piece of information in this context is that this data never leaves the CELUM domain. So these are our own services. We're not sending them to a third-party cloud provider. So your data never leaves basically your CELUM, the CELUM domain for those AI capabilities. Looking at the overall roadmap for content, what we also can see is that we will be working on text capabilities, so managing text content more comfortably in Content Hub and also in more than one locale. And so after the next release, which will be in autumn 21.9, more or less in sync with our CELUMIUM summer edition, we'll be looking at adding permission management to Nova and adding 3D view support. More on that in a second. For workrooms, just around the corner is a very handy and relevant update to how the cockpit works. So the first page that the user will see in workrooms by allowing users to create groups of workrooms for themselves and organizing them so that is more relevant to them. So their workroom, the more relevant workrooms in a group on top. And by that, it's also possible to thematically group workrooms together, and by giving more prominence also to the tasking capabilities and to the tasks for a user across the workrooms. So that's coming soon. And I already mentioned it, the 3D view support, that's something that's going to happen, or we'll be starting early in the second half of this year, where we're going to be adding support for 3D files for leading 3D formats to allow zooming, rotating, and rendering these 3D objects directly in the detail view for an object in workrooms. And as I said, we'll be starting workrooms, but we're looking at adding it to Content Hub as well later. And of course, as again, second half of this year, we're still looking at our Teams integration and Notification Center. Notification Center is for users to allow them to govern what they want to receive notifications on. So a more granular tuning of what you want to be notified about and how you want to receive those notifications. And of course, Teams integration to allow easier collaboration also, so with communication client outside of workrooms, but integrated with workrooms collaboration capabilities. So the most prominent new features. Overall roadmap again looks a bit like this. So apart from cockpit design, we're also reworking slightly how replies and conversations within workrooms are handled. We are going to be updating our file management capabilities slightly and adding labels so that you can actually also tag files in workrooms. So very, very basic metadata capability, if you will. And there will be an update to Drive very soon as well that will allow better management of what gets synced by the user when. Right, so thank you all for attending also our last slot of today. I hope there were some takeaways for you and some useful information about features and capabilities that you might not have known about, and will hopefully help you and your users going forward. And by that, thank you again, also from my colleagues, Xenia and Alessandro, and back to you, Isabel.
Thank you, Reinhard. That was really an intense session. I personally got a lot of useful information out from it for my daily work. Thank you very much, Xenia, Alessandro, and Reinhard, for the experts' insights into the CELUM world. I am a big fan of the robots already, and I very much look forward to the grouping of workrooms. Let me just share my screen now with you once again. We have our questions, feedback, and demo request email address. So if you, after the event, remember that you forgot to post a question, please just pop us a fast email and we will get back to you with the answer as fast as possible. As we now have reached the end of the CELUMIUM Spring Edition, I would like to once again thank first our speakers for their great contribution, and secondly, again, our partners for their support. And I have one last personal request. It would be really great if you could fill out the questionnaire that will pop up after you leave the CELUMIUM. that is the only way for us to get your feedback on this event and input for any other future events we will organize. Thank you very much. So on behalf of CELUM, I thank you very much for attending the CELUMIUM Spring Edition, and we hope to see you again, this time in person, at the CELUMIUM 21 Summer Edition in Linz in September. We will send you the registration link together with the webinar recording in the upcoming days, most probably Monday. So thank you once again. Have a nice day and see you in September.